Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video I'm gonna be working on this granny stitch or granny square sweater here. So this is another one of your suggestions, or you guys, after seeing this blue one that I did here, which became really successful, a lot of you liked it, decided to ask for different versions of it. So this is just a different version of that sweater that I did here. And the difference here is that I did it in two different colors. So I have this dark gray color and I have this light, very light gray color. Okay, so these are the two tones that we're using for this sweater. And as you can see, I start one batch like this, or one panel with this color, and I start the other batch with this, and then I finish it up with the opposite color. So as you can see, I finished this with the color that I did this side with, and I finished this side with this color here. Okay. All right, well, this is what we're going to be working on. If you're looking to just do this in a solid color, you literally just use one color. But there's also this other blue one that I have worked on here for you guys to go ahead and try, okay? So let's go ahead and grab our materials and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so before we get the project started, I'm going to show you the materials that we're using for it. So as you can see, these are the two colors that I'm using for my sweater. They're exactly the same except for the color. So let's talk about it here. So it's from a company called Azurite, Trimit by Trimit. It's a little bit different than the one I've used before. It's 100% acrylic, and they go by color number. So this one color number is 3077, but I'll call it like charcoalish or gray, dark gray. This particular skein here is 50 grams or 140 meters. Recommended hook size is 3.5 to 4 millimeter crochet hook. And as you can see, this is the washing instructions here. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be working with, and it's exactly the same as it's, except a different color. The color number for this one is 0579, but I'll call it I don't even know what to call this color here, but that's the color number. All right, so that's for the two colors that I'm using. You can use any colors of your choice, any yarn of your choice. For crochet hook size, for these particular projects that I'm doing a few different variations of, I will always use the same hook size. So for this one, I'm using 5 millimeter crochet hook, which is H8 US, and it's just to make sure that I have a good tension with my work. I have a tape measure here for our sizes. I have two darning needles, don't need them for sure, not darning needles, what are these, stitch markers. I don't need them, but if we need to maybe just make sure we remember where we have something, we can do that. And then I have my my scissors here to cut my strands. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovely, so we're gonna get started here. I will start with this color here. The other color is for the other side. So as you guys have seen the pictures of this sweater here, it has pretty much the color patches. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this color here. So I'm gonna start by doing a magic circle. This is how I do it here, and then I will chain 2 into the magic circle, and the chain 2 counts as a double crochet. Then I'll go into the magic circle and complete 2 more double crochets right next to that chain 2, and that makes it 3 like this. I will chain 1 and then do 3 more clusters of double crochet, and then so that's 3, and then chain 1 and then complete 3 more clusters. And we're gonna need to do 6 of these clusters all together. So just remember, you're doing 3 double crochets, chain 1, do 3 more double crochets, and you need to have 6 total of these clusters. Okay, so I will complete that and come back. Okay, so this is my 6 clusters here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so I'm going to pull the string here to be able to close our little center here. And now that that's done, I'm going to chain 1 and slip stitch on top of the chain 2 from the beginning of this row, like that. Okay, so that's how we start our hexagon. This is how we start this particular project. Okay, and now we're going to work corners into every gap. Every chain 1 gap is gonna have 6 because we're increasing to create our corners. So we're gonna start by doing 3 here. So we do a chain 2, which counts as a double crochet, and then go into that chain 1 gap where we slip stitch. We did a chain 1 then slip stitch like that. So this is 3 double crochets here. We're gonna skip 3 stitches, and in the chain 1 gap we're gonna do 3 double crochets, just like that. Chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets into the center. And by the center here, I don't mean the center here, I mean the chain 1 gap. Then skip over to the chain 1 gap and complete 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And that's another corner we're creating here. And then we're gonna skip right to the next gap and do the same. So I'm gonna do this all the way, and I will meet you guys when you have reached the end, almost the end of this row. Okay, so I have reached almost the end of this row here. So it's our second row, and as you can see, I've completed my cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, and we need to do the same for this final row here, for this final corner. And since we already have 3 double crochets from the beginning of the row, we're just going to go right into that chain 1 gap where the other 3 double crochets already are, and do 3 more double crochets like this. Then we're gonna need to chain 1 to create our corner here, and then slip stitch on top of the chain 2 that started this row like that. Okay, so now we have our 6 corners here, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and then to start the third row, we're gonna chain 2, which counts as a double crochet, and then complete 2 more double crochets into that same space where the chain 2 comes from, and then into the next space. So we're skipping 3 stitches, but in the next space we're gonna do 3 double crochets, and then skip 3 stitches and go into the corner. So on the chain 1 spot, do 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, because we're creating a corner. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and skip right the 3 double crochets right here, and in this gap we're gonna do 3 double crochets. Okay, and as you can see, we pretty much create a corner after every 3 clusters of double crochet. We go into a corner where we create 6, and we do 3 chain 1 3, so 6 together in the same spot, but this it's separated by a chain 1. And then we skip to the next gap and we do 3 double crochets. We skip to the corner, we do 6 double crochets, and that's how we do these. Pretty much we're gonna follow this pattern throughout. So here, like you can see, we did 3, but it's not a corner, so we need to just go straight to the corner here and complete 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys work this all around until you come back here, and then when you get to here, come back to the video, and I will show you how to start the 4th row and how to build up the length that you want. Okay, so I've come back to the beginning of the 3rd row here. So as you can see, I just completed 3 clusters of double crochet here, and we're gonna need to go and finish the corner here. We already have the previous 3 double crochets, so I'm gonna go into that chain 1 gap and complete 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then slip stitch. So pretty much repeating what we did in in the 2nd row. Okay, so then we just slip stitch, oops, slip stitch. Okay, so that's the 3rd row. For the 4th row, we start by chain 2. So you will always start by chain 2 for every row that you start, and then understanding that that chain 2 counts as a double crochet, and it's half of your corner. Because you start by half of your corner, you complete the corner here when you come back around, and then you skip 3 double crochets, and you skip to the gap and complete 3 double crochets, like that, and then go to the next gap. So skip 3 double crochets. In the next gap you complete 3 double crochets like that, and then skip to the center, so chain 1 gap from the previous row, and complete your corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Okay, so I'm not going to show you how to complete the whole row here because it's just repeating. For the rest of this section here, you're going to repeat the same thing over and over until you have what you need. Okay, so as you can see here, this is just the beginning of the 4th row. We're going to continue and then complete this corner here, start the 5th row, and then just continue like this. So I'm going to work mine until I have 18 rows on 4 corners. So as you can see, our work has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 sides. So I'm going to do 17 complete rows. And then for the 18th row, I'm going to complete a side, 1, 2, 3, 4, which means I will have one side like this uncompleted and one side like this uncompleted. Okay, and I will show you what we do that when I come back. So go ahead and complete what you need, and when you have that, I will show you that. Now, how do you know when to stop? The first thing that you're gonna do, because as you can see this here, we're gonna end up folding this like this. Right now it doesn't look like anything, but this is gonna be the body and a sleeve. And so you want the sleeve section of this, you want this section here to be wide enough to go through for your the widest part of your arm to go through. So you're gonna measure the circumference of your arm, and then you're gonna make sure that that circumference is what you create here, the widest part of it. So let's say it's 10 inches. You're going to make sure that you're going to create this circle here to be this wide. Okay, so this here is going to be this wide, and if you want it to be looser, then you can increase the number of rows that you do. All right, so I will see you guys when you have 17 rows with exception of 18 rows with exception of 2 sides, which will only have 17 rows. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the number of rows I needed here. So as you can see, this is how my work looks so far, and I'm gonna just fold it. So what you will do to make sure you fold it the right way, because we need to join to complete the sleeve or to complete this one panel. You have your 6 sides. You have completed from, this is where we started, you've completed 18 rows all the way to here. So meaning this side here and this side here has only 17 rows. Okay, so what you will do, holding your work flat like this, and the string that was we started the work with in the bottom, you're going to go ahead and grab this corner, flip your work like this. So actually not in the bottom, it's gonna come up to the top eventually, and then you're just gonna aim for the opposite. So you have this corner here, you're gonna aim for the opposite side of it, which is this side here. Then you're gonna bring these 2 corners together, and then if you fold it like this, then you have one side of your sweater like this. Okay, like that. And make sure your working yarn is facing you, it's on top. Okay, and this is again the side that has only 17 rows as opposed to 18. This side has 18, and so it's this side that has 17 and this side that is folded that has 17. Okay, voila. And so we're going to join this side, this top here, to create our sleeve, because this is our sleeve here. This is where our arm will go through. So this is what I meant by making sure you have the circumference that will fit the widest part of your arm. Okay, so we have that completed. So we're gonna go ahead and start the joining, which is joining this side here, and then we will work on the sleeves, and we will go ahead and just continue our work like that. So as long as this side is facing you up like this, you're ready to go. Get your yarn ready, and we're gonna use the same color. I know you're wondering where the other color is, but we're gonna be using the other color eventually. For now, we're just doing this part of it in the same color. So I bring my crochet hook, I put it here, and as you can see here, I stopped not with the 6 double crochets here, I stopped at 3. So this is a corner where we would have done 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the same gap, but I just completed 3 because we're going to be completing the other 3 as part of our joining here. So to join, I have the side. I'm gonna go into this gap that is the chain one on the other corner, the opposite side. I'm gonna go and bring my hook around like this. Okay, as you can see, I'm bringing my hook from the bottom, and then I'm going to pretty much bring this yarn through like this and complete a slip stitch. Okay, so that completes me putting these two together. And then I'm going to now complete my remaining 3 double crochets into this gap. So I go 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to kind of hold my work flat like this, and I'm going to skip these 3 double crochets, and in this gap here I'm going to go under again, just like I did a second ago. I'm gonna bring my yarn through and slip stitch, and then I'm going to skip to this gap here and complete 3 double crochets. So what I'm doing here is I'm joining the side that has only 17 rows, and I'm completing the 18th row as we go, but I'm joining it to the side that already has 18 rows on the other side, which I don't need to do anything else over there except to just kind of join these two sides like this. So and then I go into the next gap and I do the same. I slip stitch in that gap, and then over here I go ahead and complete 3 double crochets. And make sure when you're joining here you're not pulling it too much, because you're gonna make it so that it kind of wrinkles. You don't want that. And then you go into the next gap and complete 3 double crochets. Okay, so I'm gonna do this all the way until I get to this, finish this joining all the way here. And when I get to here, I'm gonna come back to the video to show you what to do next, and we're gonna be changing the color not too long after that. Okay, so come back in a few. Okay, my lovelies, so I have reached the end of joining the top here. So as you can see, this is where we joined and increased the size on the number of rows on the side because we needed to. And now I am going to finish it off, pretty much doing the same thing for this final gap here. This gap here, I'm just going to go over on the other side, bring my hook back and slip stitch, and then do 3 double crochets into the center of the 6 double crochets, so the chain 1 spot that we had for separating the corner here. Okay, and then we need to be able to connect it to this side here, because as you can see there's just this gap that doesn't look right. So what I do here is, again, the chain 2 1 2, I go on top of that chain 2 from the previous row, I bring my yarn through like that, and then slip stitch. So now it's completed like this. Okay, and because this side is the side that had only 17 rows as opposed to 18, we're going to do 1 more row in this color before we change the color. So I'm going to do 2 chains, and then in this gap here I'm going to do 2 double crochets to make it 3, so our chain 2 counts as a double crochet. Then I'm going to move on to this gap here and complete 3 double crochets like so. Then I'll move to this next gap here. So I'm skipping the cluster of 3 double crochets to skip over to the gap that we end up doing the 3 double crochets in like this. Okay, and then I will go into the next gap, so skip the 3 double crochets, and in the gap I do 3 double crochets, and I just continue these all around like this until I come back here. So do the same when you get to here, come back to the video, and I will show you how to finish it off here and how to change the color, because we're gonna change the color at this point. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed this 1 row here for this color, and we're gonna go skip right to the other side here. So as you can see, this is now the cluster that we're gonna skip, and we're gonna go straight to doing a slip stitch on top of the chain 2 from the previous row, or from the beginning of this row like that. But because we're changing color, we're going to just kind of do it like this, and then bring our scissors in and cut the yarn somewhere here. I'm very stingy with yarn. I don't cut too much. As you can see, I just leave a little bit of space like that. And then at this point, we're going to change the color, and I'm going to go ahead and bring the other dark gray in. Okay, so we're gonna now change into this color here. and we're going to work the sleeve in this color until we have just a little bit left to do the part where we make it tighter. Okay, so we're gonna do the cuffs of the sweater in this color. So we're gonna have the gray in the middle and then finish it off with the white, or this color here, the off gray color. Okay, so with this, I have it like this. I'm gonna take this on the other side of my fingers like this, and then I will bring my gray color in just like this and bring it in like that. And then as you can see, I have these two on this side. So I'm gonna hold them nice here, and then I will do a chain 2 and then go into that same gap, into the same gap here, and complete 2 more double crochets. So my chain 2 always will count as a double crochet. Okay, and if you want to at this point, you can knot these so that they can stay in place, but I'm comfortable they're not gonna move. And then I'm gonna skip these 3 double crochets here, and in this gap I'm gonna go ahead and complete a cluster of 3 double crochets. Then I'll skip these 3 here, and in the next gap I'm gonna do 3 double crochets. Okay, and I'm pretty much going to do this to create the sleeve. Okay, so I'm gonna just not go too far here. I'm gonna finish this cluster, and then we'll talk a little bit of how you need to get the size that you need for the sleeve. Okay, so as you can see here, if I place my sweater down like this, okay, this is gonna be the body of the sweater here, and the sleeve, it goes down like this. Okay, so if we bring in the tape measure, what I do, so I have already measured the length of my arm from under my armpit all the way down, and it comes up to about 22 inches. So that is the length of my arm from my armpit down. Okay, so which means when I measure this, I'm gonna go here. Okay, so I'm gonna go right from where the armpit for my sweater will be, like this, and I'm gonna measure it all the way down. So right now, as you can see, I have 8 inches that I've already completed just by this color here. So I'm gonna need to go to 22. I'm gonna need, let's say, 4 to 5 inches for the sleeve here, so about somewhere here like this. So I'm gonna remove 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 5 inches. And so it means I need to do that much more. I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need to do 9 more inches, and these 9 inches will be in this color here. Okay, so that much in this color. And then when that is done, I'm gonna come back to the video to show you guys how to do the other 5 inches, which is going to be a little bit different, because I'm going to snatch in the sleeve here. The end of the sweater is going to be snatched in. Okay, so it's not going to be staying flared out. All right, so go ahead and work these 9 inches here when you have completed that, or whatever number of inches that yours will come to, because this is mine, not yours. Come back to the video and I will show you what to do next. Okay, how to do the sleeve portion of it. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the number of rows that I want in this darker color here. I did 16 rows altogether. I leave a little bit of a gap on my arm so I can do the snatched in sleeve here. So a little bit of a kind of tighter part of it, because right now, as you can see, like this is a little bit too flared out. If you do want to leave your sweater flared out, then just continue to work the rest of the rows until you have it coming up to your wrist like this. But if you want to have this section kind of come in a little bit, then you would kind of join me here. Okay, so this is my 16th row that I just completed here. So I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch on top of the chain 2, just like we've been doing like this. Okay, and I'm gonna continue using this color to do the calf section, so there's no need to cut the color off and change it here. So we're gonna continue with this same color. Now, to continue with this same color, we're going to do a reduction because this is too wide for us to do the sleeve like this. So I'm going to reduce on every stitch like this. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing a chain of 1. Okay, and then I'm gonna go into the next stitch right here and do a decrease. So I go like this, and then I go into the next stitch, and I just go right in the middle here. I don't go on top here. I just go into the middle here and complete a single crochet, which is now putting these 2 stitches together. Then I'll go into the next stitch here, and then in the next stitch, and I reduce those 2 and make it 1 by just bringing that through as a single crochet. Then I'm gonna go into this gap here, and then I'm gonna go into that stitch. Now I have 3 loops like this. I'm gonna go ahead and bring that through, and then I'm gonna go into the next stitch right here, and the next one is this gap here. I'm gonna reduce that and bring it in like this. Okay, so this is, I'm doing single crochets, but I'm decreasing on every single stitch around, and I'm gonna do this all the way until I come back here. So this is right here is where I started. If you want to make sure you don't lose it, because as you can see right now, it doesn't look too much like a beginning of the stitch, you can put a stitch marker here so that when you come back around, you know that it's here. But I know where it is, so I would not do that. So go ahead and complete your decreases by just doing the decreases with the single crochet stitch. And then when you get to the end, come back and I will show you what to do for the next round. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my reduction for this sleeve here. So as you can see, it doesn't look quite like it's going to be too kind of broad in, but it will. Don't worry about that. It's going to come in. And as you can see, this is where I started my stitches here, and I just completed my last reduction here. So on top of that chain 1 that we completed to start this row, I'm going to go right into that and complete a slip stitch like this. Okay. Now that we have completed a slip stitch, I'm going to start a row of double crochet so we can work our sleeves. Okay, so 1 2 is what I start with, which does count as a double crochet, and then I'm gonna go into this next stitch here and complete a double crochet. Then I'm gonna go into this next stitch here and complete a double crochet, and then into the next stitch here I complete a double crochet, and I just do this again all around until I come back to the beginning, which is right here. Okay, so this is here a base of where we're gonna start doing our back loop, not back loop, but front post, back post double crochets. But we need this elongated stitch, which is a double crochet stitch, to be able to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and complete my double crochets around. When I get back here, I will come back to the video to show you how to start the first row of the front post, back post double crochet. Okay, I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the row of the double crochets here. And now I have come back to where we started our row here, and this is the double crochet we completed. So I'm just gonna go right into the top of that double crochet and complete a slip stitch, and that completes this round of double crochets. Okay, so as you can see, our work is starting to kind of come in a little bit more like this. And so now we're going to start a couple of rows of the front post, back post double crochet. So I'm going to start it by doing a chain of 2. And this counts it as a double crochet, and as you can see, it's attached to this double crochet here. Okay, and so I'm going to skip, not do anything on that because it's attached to this double crochet. And in the next one here, I'm going to complete a front post double crochet, and then I'm going to go into the next and complete a back post double crochet, and then a front post in the next, a back post in the next, and then we just alternate this all around until we come back to the beginning. Okay, so this is the beginning here where we did our chain 2, and that's gonna always be the beginning of your new row. Is when you complete that row, then you start the next row. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do this row here and bring it up to here so I can show you guys how to connect here and to start the new row of the same stitch, and then I will have you guys work the length that you need. Okay, but for now I will meet you when you come back around here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed this first row of the front post back post double crochet, and so I am going to slip stitch it on the top of the chain 2 that we created to start the row. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it like that. Okay, now that I've completed this row, I'm going to start this row again, the next row, by doing a chain 2, and now I'm just going to follow the pattern of my work here. So as you can see, this is the back post, it protrudes out, which is the back post from the previous row. I'm gonna go, sorry, it's actually the front post from the previous row. I'm going to go ahead and just complete a front post as well, and then in the next one is a back post. I'm going to complete a back post double crochet, and then in the next one I'm going to complete a front post. So at this point here, you just follow the pattern of your work, so that if it's a back post, you do a complete back post. If it's a front post, you just do a front post. Okay, So I'm gonna do this here until I have the length I want for this part of my sleeve. So I left a space that is maybe this big, like maybe 2-3 inches, maybe 2 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and just complete this. The best way to make sure you have the right amount of rows or just the length of your sleeve is just to try it on. Honestly, just pull this one panel against your body and then go ahead and see how that fits, and then if it fits correct how you want it, then you stop there. If it's not, then you continue to do these rows here. Okay, so I'll have you guys go ahead and complete that, and when you have completed it, come back to the video and I will show you how to do one more thing in the body of the sweater here, which is just to increase the back part of it here a little bit. And then when we have this fully completed, we start the second panel, because this is just one half of our sweater. The other half will be completed completely at a completely different time. Okay, so go ahead and complete this part and then come back to the video. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the sleeve here. So as you can see, I did 10 rows here just to make sure it's gonna be long enough. But yeah, that's gonna be all we do. So as you can see, this is my 10th row, and I'm going to go ahead and just slip stitch on top of the chain 2, this one here, and then we're gonna be able to cut off the yarn and be done with this side. So just like that. Okay, and I'm gonna grab my scissors here. I'm gonna cut my yarn somewhere here. Okay, and then I'm going to do a chain 1 and slip stitch through it like this, and I will weave the end here at a later time. Okay, so as you can see, this is pretty much how the sweater looks like. This is the second color here, that is the first color, and for the opposite side we're going to reverse and do the exact opposite. So this side is going to have this starting with this color and finish it up with this color. Okay, but there's one more step to do in this one here. So what I will do, as you can see, I'm going to make sure that this is my left for this side is for my left arm. Okay, and to do that, actually it can be either or, depends whether you work on here or here. So I'm gonna work on this side here, which will make it the right side, because when I flip it like this, the side that I increase will be right here. Okay, so this is what I will do. I'm gonna put this down, so just so I can explain what we're increasing here. This is the first panel, this is the body of the panel here. I need to make sure I increase the back here, because otherwise it will just be like two, they will meet right here, the second panel and this panel will meet right here, and it will not look that good. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to increase here, because this will eventually be for this side like this. So I'm gonna increase it here, and I'm gonna do about 2 rows for this side, and then I'm going to switch and do the other panel, and I'm gonna obviously do it in this color here. You can do it in this darker color if you want, but for me I think it would look nice to continue to do it in the same color. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 rows increase here, and then I will have then I'll complete the other side, and when that side is done, we will come back and join the 2 sides together. Okay, so to do this, I'm just going to do a slip knot right here like this. I'm gonna remove my hook. Okay, and I'm gonna go into this chain 1 spot here, which is our corner, the bottom corner of our sweater. I'm gonna bring my yarn through like this, and then I'm gonna complete a chain of 2. Okay, so with this chain of 2, this is 1 double crochet here, it counts as a double crochet. Then I'm going to do 2 more in this gap, so 1 and 2. Okay, so that is 2 here, 3 double crochets there, and I'm gonna skip right to the next spot here and complete 3 more double crochets. Okay, and for those of you who saw the tutorial for the blue one, it is pretty much the same thing that I'm doing here. I am creating a gap in the middle of the back of the sweater so that it doesn't look too kind of like weird. When we join the 2 sides, there will be a little bit of a gap even for the front section as well. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm gonna continue doing these double crochets. So we're doing 3 double crochets in each space until we come back to the end of this area here, till we come back here. And so finish your final 3 double crochets here, come back so I can show you how to complete a final one here before we turn around and work ourselves back that way. Okay, I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my first row of the increase here, and as you can see, I just did my final 3 double crochets in this space here. And so what I will do is I will just go on top of this section here. So 1, 2, 3, and then we have the gap. I'm just gonna go into that gap here and complete a double crochet like this. Okay, so that's where we're gonna end it like that. Okay, and then I'm going to do a chain of 2 and turn. And then when I turn it, I'm going to work 2 more double crochets into this gap here to make it 3. Okay, so again, just continuing to do our clusters of double crochets, and then in the next gap I'm going to do 3 double crochets, and then in the next, and then we're gonna go all the way to the bottom where we started the previous row. And so I will ask you guys to complete this row until you get to here. When you finish your cluster of 3 double crochets here, come back to the video and I will show you guys how to complete this row, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my second row on this side here, and as you can see, I did the cluster of 3 double crochets here. And so I'm just going to slip stitch. Actually, I'm going to do a double crochet on top of the chain 2 that we completed to start this row. So I'm just going to go on top of that stitch and complete a double crochet. Okay, so now this actually seals this spot like this, so I don't have to continue with this particular row. So I'm going to just kind of leave the yarn on it, and I'm going to remove my yarn. And as you can see, when we do put our sweater down like this, we do have this gap here that is created by increasing the back panel here with the 2 rows. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the second row, and the second row is going to be pretty much exactly the same, or sorry, the second panel is gonna be exactly the same as we did this. So for this section here, so my beginning of my sweater here is gonna start with this color here, and then we're gonna do the joining just like we did this one, and then we're gonna finish the final row here. We're gonna finish the rest of the sleeve in this color because we're starting the body with this color, finish it with this color. And then when you have completed it exactly like this, you're going to increase the center here as well, just like we did the other one, but we're going to do 3 rows. So instead of 2, you're going to do 3 rows. And the way you do that is when you come to a section like this, you're going to chain 2 and then complete 2 more double crochets here, and then 3 double crochets, 3 double crochets, all the way until you come back here. After you do your 3 double crochets here, you will do a double crochet on top of the chain 2. When you have that completed, come back to the video and we will join the sides here, and then we will go ahead and work on the next step of the sweaters, or the sweater. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my second panel here for the sweater. And as you can see, so instead of starting with this color here, I started with this color and then finished it off like this. And then we have the second panel. So if I can just bring it here, this is the second panel that we did together, where we started with this color and then we completed the sleeve in this color. Okay, so now that I have the 2 of them completed, and as you can see, I did the 2 rows of increase in the middle here, and I decided to do 2 rows of the increase in the second panel as well, because we're gonna use a darning needle to join the middle here as opposed to doing it the other way. Okay, and the other way meaning in the blue one that I would link in the description box for you guys as well. I do join it differently, whereby I do 2 rows in the increase here, I do 2 rows in one, 3 rows in the other, and then from the side that I have 2, I join it by doing the 3rd row. Okay, so just watch that video, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So this is my second row of the increase in this color here, and I will just go ahead and complete that. So I'm gonna undo this here that undid itself. So as you can see, I will just go and finish this here by going on top of the chain 2 to complete my double crochet on there like this. Okay, so that's done for the 2 rows of increase here. I will cut my string off, but I will make sure I leave it long enough to be able to join the 2 sides here. So just something like that, and then I'll cut it somewhere here. oopsie, like that. And then what I will do here is I will just pull it through with a chain 1 to slip stitch, and then pulling it through like this so that it locks that section in. Okay, now when I put my 2 panels together like this, as you can see, then this is how it looks like. Okay, so this is the top part of it here. Okay, so we're gonna be joining this guy here, and then we're gonna be joining it all the way to the bottom here. Oh, actually from the bottom, because we have this string here, we're gonna be joining all the way from here to there. And the way I will do it, as you can see, this sweater, this is gonna be the outside of my sweater. The way it's laying right now, it's gonna be the way I put it on. So I will just flip these 2 pieces like this, and then that way I can use my darning needle to join this on the inside. Okay, so I'm not flipping it to the outside, I flip it to the inside. And then of course I will bring in my darning needle. I will put my yarn in the darning needle like that, and then I would line the stitches like this. And when you join it, make sure you're lining it up really well so that they're matching up like this. Okay, so I have the string here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it to this side. So I'm gonna go into the top of the chain 2 here, and then I'll bring it over to the other side, and then I will pull like that, and then I'll do 1 more in the exact same spot, and I'll bring it through. And when you do this, don't pull it too much because you don't want it to wrinkle up your work. You want it to just join it, but very nice and clean. And then I'm going to go into the next stitch right here, and I'm gonna do the same. Then I'm gonna go into the next stitch right here and just continue joining it like this all the way to the end. And by the way, it didn't have to be this color particularly that you're using to join. You could have just cut some of this color as well to be able to join it with. So no matter what color you join it with, it's not gonna make a big difference to the way your work looks at the end of it all. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just continue joining my work like this. So I'll just show you guys quickly how it looks like. And like I said, you don't put it too much so it doesn't wrinkle up your work. So this is how this side looks like, and it's the inside of the work. And then if you flip it, that's how it looks like on the other side. Okay, so very nice and neat. So I'm gonna go ahead and join it all the way to the top here. And then when this is done, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the row for doing the border, the bottom border, and as well as the middle of the sweater. Okay, the front of the sweater. Okay, so go ahead and finish these first, and I will see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and joined the work all the way up to the top here. So as you can see, this is where I ended it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these off here, and then I'll put my darning needle and scissors away. So this is pretty much done here in terms of the joining in the middle. Okay, so that's where we joined it. So just to show you guys how it looks like in the back, so this is how the back of it looks where you join your work. Okay, so very nice and neat. And so we're going to do the border. So as you guys remember, we did this here, which is the border for the sleeves, which is doing it so that it snatches in the sleeve like this. And as you will see, we're gonna do the exact same in the middle here, but we're not going to decrease like we did here to snatch it in. We're just going to work our rows like this. Now also for you, it's up to you. You have this color here that you use to do the sweater, and this color here, you can choose whichever one of the colors. So you can use this light color, or you can use this dark gray color. I am going to use the dark gray color just because I think I would like it like that. But here where I cut the string off right here, I'm just gonna knot this so that it doesn't kind of come apart and unravel my work. And then I'm going to cut that off. So I'm just going to do a couple of knots here. So one more like that. And then I am going to go ahead and just cut that off like that. And because we're gonna be working along the sides here and the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead then. I'm using this color here. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get it started. So because we are doing the front post, back post, double crochet, we are going to create a base row of just double crochet, and that way we can work along it by doing the front post, back post double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do a slip knot to begin it off here. Okay, so just a normal slip knot like so, then remove my hook. Now this is up to you. You can either start it by working from here or this side, whichever side that you started with, it doesn't really matter. So what I will do though, for me, I will go and start with this corner here. Okay, so I have my corner ready to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and start by doing a slip knot on my yarn, just like that. Okay, and then I'll remove my hook. I will go into this corner. I will go into the chain one spot and bring it through like this. And then I will do a chain of 2. So 1, 2, and this counts as a double crochet. And then in this same spot here, I'm going to go in and do 2 more double crochets to make it 3. Okay, so 1 and 2. Okay, the third one is your chain 2. And then because we are going to just do a row of double crochet to create our base, I'm going to go into the next stitch right here and complete a double crochet. And then I'm going to go into the next and do a double crochet. Then I'm going to go into this gap here, just not the gap, right above the gap like this, and then do a double crochet, and then right to the next stitch and do a double crochet. Okay, so in other words, you're just doing a double crochet on every single stitch like this, going all around these the front all the way to the back. So what we're gonna be doing here, just so you know, is we're going to be going all around above the neckline here, all across the other side, and then we're gonna go to this corner here and come all the way back, all the way here. Okay, but what I would like to show you guys right now is work your double crochets to this top here, so that I can show you how to work on this section here, the neckline here, where there's no particular stitches. And then I will have you guys work, and then we'll meet again here before we finish the bottom of it. Okay, for now, let's meet when you get back right here on top of this area here. Okay, my lovelies, so as you can see, I have done my double crochets along here. So now we are on top of the neckline, as you can see here. So I am going to go ahead and work. I did my double crochet here. I'm going to go into this corner here and complete a double crochet, and then I'm going to go into this corner here, so that separates these 2 clusters of double crochets here. I'm going to go in there and do another one, and then in this very top here, I'm going to do 2 double crochets just like that, just to make sure we're not going to gap it too much in this section. And then I am going to go this chain or double crochet here. We're going to also complete 2 double crochets in this area. It's kind of along the length of the double crochet here like this. Okay, and then I'm going to go into this space here and do 2 double crochets. Okay, and then I'm going to move on, and this is another double crochet here. So for the length of that double crochet, I'm going to do 2 double crochets like that, and then I'm going to hop into this gap here and complete a double crochet like that, and then into this space we're going to do 2 again, just so that we don't have it being too gappy. And then along the length of the double crochet again here, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to skip right into this gap. So this is the same gap as this here, the space between the 2 sides of the double crochets. This is the same thing here, and I'm going to do 1 double crochet, and then I'm going to go into this area here and complete a double crochet. And then from that point on, we have just regular double crochet stitches to work with. Okay, so you're gonna go down all along the side here and complete double crochets all the way. When you have done your last one here in this gap here, this area, come back because we're going to do the corner a little bit different, and then I'll have you guys work the bottom part of it until we meet back here. But for now, meet me when you have reached the bottom of the other side here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed coming down on the other side here as well. So as you can see, I'm now on the opposite bottom side, the opposite of where we started here. And so I am going to go ahead and show you how to do this corner here, and then we will continue to come all the way back to the other side here, because the bottom is the bottom, so it's gonna be going straight. Okay, all right, so for this part here, I'm going to go ahead. So as you can see, I did my last double crochet here, so I'm gonna go into this and do my next one. And then what I will do here is I will just go straight into the middle. So I'm going to skip one stitch here just to give it a gap here. Okay, and I'm going to go into the middle and do 3 double crochets and chain 1, and then 3 double crochets, because we want to keep our corner here the same. Okay, so 2 and 3, and then so that's how it should look in this bottom corner here. And then to do the next side, to start on the next side, I'm gonna also skip this stitch right here. So the same as we did here, I'm gonna skip this stitch here, and I'm gonna go into the next and then complete a double crochet, and then move to the next area, do a double crochet, and then to the next stitch and double crochet, and then continue that all the way until we come back to where we started this row. Okay, so just something like this. Okay, so you're gonna do this all the way down here. You're going to follow the stitches. When you come to the middle here where we joined our work, you're going to do 2 double crochets here, 1 double crochet on this side of the color here, 1 here, and then 2 in this gap because it is big. We cannot just do 1. And then you're going to do 1 here, then 1 here, and then you continue to follow the stitches, and then the stitches are just pretty much the same all the way until you come back here. So when you have done your last double crochet here, come so I can show you how to work into the corner here. And then at that point we can start our front post, back post, double crochet rotations. Okay, I will see you guys when you come to this corner here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have pretty much come back to the corner where we started here. So I have gone all around the front part of the corner to the bottom and then back up, and as you can see, this is where I am. And so because we're skipping this stitch right here, I'm going to jump right into the middle to do my 3 double crochets. So 2 and 3, and then I'm going to chain 1 and then slip stitch on top of the chain 2 that we started the row with to create our corner here like this. Okay, all right, so now that we have completed that, we are going to start the next row. And with the next row, we're going to start by doing a chain of 2, and then in that corner here we're going to do 2 more double crochets. And remember, your chain 2 counts as a double crochet, so it makes it 3 that we start each row with like that. Okay, and then we're going to not work anything into this stitch here, but in this stitch here we're going to go in with our front post double crochet just like this. And then in the next one we're going to go and do a back post double crochet, and then in the next one a front post double crochet, and then in the next one a back post double crochet, and then again we just continue this all the way around, all the way until we come back here, because now there's nothing much to do beside in this bottom corner here. Actually, I will show you how to do that. Bring your work all the way to the other opposite side of this so I can show you how to work your stitches in the corner. I will have you finish the second, the bottom alone, and then I will show you how to come and get started with the second row of the front post, back post, double crochet, and then I will have you guys complete however many rows you want for that. Okay, so let's do this to this corner. Come back, I'll show you how to work the corner. You will work this here, and then I'll show you how to start the second row here. Okay, see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have pretty much worked my stitches all around the top here. So I am in the other opposite corner. So this is where we started, and this is where I wanted to show you guys how to work the corner here, and then I will have you guys finish the bottom part of it here. before we go ahead and start the second row of this stitch. Okay, so as you can see, I did my front post double crochet there, and then this is the stitch that we had skipped to go into the middle, but I'm going to go ahead and do a back post double crochet on that stitch right here, the very next one after that. And then in the third one here, or this one, I'm going to do a front post double crochet, and then I'm going to skip this one. So as you can see, this is a stitch right here that we're skipping, and I'm gonna go right into the center at this point to do my cluster or my corner, which is 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Okay, and then we will repeat what we just did here on the opposite side. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. So this is my second and then third double crochet, so that way our corner continues to stay like this. Okay, so because again we skipped this stitch to go into the center, we're going to skip this stitch here. So this stitch, we're not doing anything on it, so we're going to skip it and go right to the next one and do a front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet on the next one, and then we move on right next to the other one and do a front post double crochet. So from this point on, we just continue our stitches as we have been doing them. Okay, so at this point we don't change anything, just the corner. So this is how you will do your corners. When you come to the corner, you will work until the last one. The last one, you don't do anything on it, and then you go into the middle to do your corner, and then you repeat that on the opposite side. So for this part here, I'm gonna have you guys work your front post double crochet, back post double crochet alternations until you come back to the corner where we started our row here. I will show you how to start that row, and then I will have you guys build up the rest of the rows that you're doing for this part of the project. Okay, I will see you guys when you have reached this corner here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my bottom part of the sweater here, and I'm back to the corner where we started here. And as you can see, again, I did my double front post double crochet there. So which means for the next stitch right here, I'm going to do my back post double crochet and then a front post double crochet on this stitch here, and then we skip this stitch. So as you can see, there's this one here that we are not working into, so I'm going to skip this, and I'm going to go right into the middle and complete 3 double crochets, and then I'm going to chain 1 and then slip stitch to the other side. So chain 1 and then slip stitch on top of this, chain 2 to create our corner here. Okay, so this is our corner, and then we just continue to do our stitches the same way we did this previous row, where we start by doing a chain of 2 and then working double crochets into the middle. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and then 3 with a chain 2. Your chain 2 will always count as a double crochet. And then we're going to skip this stitch right here, and in this next one I'm going to go in with a front post double crochet, and then into the next, this one here, a back post double crochet. And as you can see, from this point on, we just follow the pattern of our stitches. So this is a front post double crochet. I do a front post double crochet there, and then in the one that protrudes to the back, I go ahead and do a back post double crochet, just pretty much very similar to what we did for the sleeves. Okay, and then I'm going to do these all around, and then when I have the number of stitches that I want, or number of rows that I want for my sweater, I am going to stop, and then that will pretty much conclude the sweater. Okay, so as you can see, this is how it looks when we do this. The bottom looks like this. So this is the bottom part. I'm probably gonna do about 5 to 6, maybe a little bit more depending on how it looks. I will try it on and see, but I'm gonna continue working this here until I have enough rows, and then when I have done that, I will weave in all of my ends. So all of the ends that I have, I will weave them in, and then I'll come to show you guys how the whole thing looks when it's done. Okay, I will see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the border for our sweater here. So I unfortunately went ahead and cut off the yarn and weaved in my ends here, but I pretty much did this border all around. So we had from one corner, we kept going around and around, including the bottom part of it, and then I completed it, and this is enough for me. So I stopped at 5 rows, and including the row of the double crochet that we started as a base of our front post, back post double crochet. So this is pretty much the length of the border that I wanted. So I stopped here, and then I went ahead and slip stitch in the corner here, and then after doing my chain 1, I slip stitched, and then I cut off the yarn, and then I weaved in and after, and then I went ahead and weaved in all of my ends as well. So the sweater is pretty much done at this point. So this two-tone sweater is completed. I weaved in all the ends for the sleeves as well, and yeah, so this is it here. So this is how the front looks like, and then if you flip it on the other side, this is how the back looks like. This is where the two-tone colors meet. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna let you guys go from here. Thank you so much for watching the video to the end. I hope you guys will try this, and if you like it, please go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you share, comment, and like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.